Good morning, good afternoon. Here I am on Fort Myers Beach after Hurricane Ian, and Hurricane did a lot of damage to the properties around us. There's a lot of properties that are not standing at all or completely demolished, and I've had a lot of questions. A lot of people asking me, well, how do I deal with these insurance claims? How do I go about it? What's the process? I'm struggling, I'm not getting results, etc. So there's a few key elements when it comes to insurance claims. The first question is, do I potentially have coverage? And I'm not looking about what the insurance company is going to tell me. I'm dealing with claims that there was a flood in the basement by the garage, but it was not relevant to the unit itself. And that means that that unit was affected by the hurricane, by the roof coming off or water coming through the roof. So that is not relevant, even if the insurance company goes ahead and says, well, you're not covered because of flood. The question is what the facts. We let the facts talk for themselves. So the first question is, do I potentially have coverage? The second thing is, what documentation to put together? Okay. The first thing that everybody has these days is a smartphone, right? Take pictures. You can never be short on pictures. Take 1,000 pictures and you're good. Just take. No worry. You can't have too many, right? Whether it's at the time of the hurricane. I mean, thank God, one of the claims I have where somebody came out with a drone and flew it all around the place, which is beautiful because now I have pictures of the roof the way it was. So that when I come in as a public adjuster, my job is to help you, but a lot of this is all about you doing it for yourself, right? So the reality is, when you have proper documentation, and it helps no matter who you're going, whether you're going to do the claim yourself, whether you're going to have a public adjuster, whether you do, however you're going to go about this, you have now documentation. And documentation is key whenever it comes to an insurance claim. So the first document is pictures, videos, etc. Other things that could definitely be of help is hygienist report, moisture mapping, showing what was damaged, showing what was with clear documentation. Third-party documentation is additional helpful. Okay. Now, you have a duties after a loss within your policy, which says that you are going to protect your property, right? So from further damage. That includes covering the roof, right? It wasn't feasible within the first week and a half for many people to get covered. There was just not enough manpower. So a lot of people got further damage from the storm. That's still enclosed within the same loss, okay? That's part of the same loss because it's the result. And remember, I'm not an attorney, but this is what I do for a living, and we deal with insurance claims. And as far as I understand it, this is part of, it's part of the same loss. Okay, you have a question, we go afterwards. You can discuss that with an attorney. But this is the way I'm my approach on things, right? Now, you're going to go ahead and deal with that, with the documentation. Part of that, and duties after loss, part of that is to mitigate. So we spoke about covering the roof. Further is separating the damages from the non-damage, which basically means like ripping out the damaged sheetrock and things like that, because we don't want the growth, we don't want mold growth, we don't want things like that. So it's hiring a proper mitigation company that's going to take moisture readings, or you can take moisture readings yourself if you have a moisture reading, or a hygienist, which is always recommended, which is very helpful with documentation because a hygienist is a third-party person, and the key elements, the key directions for people, whether it's a public adjuster or even a water professional, is to hire the third-party experts to give you clear directions when possible, okay, or when needed. So this is very, very important. Now I must mention over here that I'm going to continue talking about myself for a moment or two, and if you're satisfied with your claim, you're happy with the results you got, please shut it off, turn it off. We're done, right? I laid out different facts, but if you're happy with your claim, you can stop over here. You don't have to listen anymore, right? So, if you're happy with the claim, or if you have another public adjuster, speak to them, not myself. Now, when it comes to insurance claims, in essence, what we do as a public adjusters, and this is what you're going to be doing yourself if you're dealing with a claim yourself, is you're preparing for court the best file that finishes from my desk. And I haven't gotten the results for whatever reason from the insurance company because they don't want to pay. That file is literally ready to be passed on to an attorney and get the results we need because everything is clear. Goes back to the step one we spoke about, documentation. Everything is clear. I have the pictures, I have the alignment, I have the setup, I have the estimates. Now, we create our own estimates, line items. We can have over 1,000 line items easily in an estimate, depending on the size of the property. right? So at the end of the day, that is all key elements for you to get the results you need. Laying that documentation and a proper file that leaves my desk is so ready for litigation that the insurance company doesn't even want to look at it. They take one look at it, they don't want to argue with it. They just want to pay it out to done and move on. That is what's called a proper file ready to go. And that is in essence what we are to do and what you have to do on your own if you're taking on this claim yourself, right? And that is that we have to show the insurance company what to pay and why. And we have to do it as clearly as possible that they can't argue with it, because we let the facts talk for themselves. Remember, that's the key number one thing when it comes to insurance claims. Let the facts talk for themselves. Wishing all of you a wonderful day. Godspeed in getting the results you need, and with everything that should work out. Hopefully you don't need me or people like me. If you do, I'm in the Fort Myers area. Pinny Morozow, Pinchus Morozow, licensed public adjuster. Contact information is below, or you can email me claims@balance.pa. Once again, that's claims@balance.pa. Balance singular, PA for public adjuster.com. Have a wonderful day. Wishing you only happiness, success, and a healthy rebuild. May your family be healthy, and may everybody around you be able to rebuild and stand stronger than ever before. All the best.